Hey guys, Crystal here at Crystal's Crafties, and today I want to show you how to make this Easter egg wreath for Easter using plastic eggs and a styrofoam wreath frame. Let me just show you the back of the frame. So it's going to be flat across the back. You need to make sure that you build this on a flat surface like a desk or a table or something so that you can get it flat against the back, so that when it hangs on your door, it's not all wonky from the eggs being all different kinds of depths. And we'll talk about the hanger at the end. You can put whatever kind of hanger you want. I just chose a little ribbon so that it doesn't really show. It doesn't really take away from the wreath itself. All right, let me show you how to do it. So it's pretty simple what you need for this wreath. You need Easter eggs in assorted sizes. I have jumbo and mini because the store didn't have any regular sized eggs in this color. But if you can get all three sizes, great. If you can only get two sizes, it will still work. And then you also need a foam wreath frame. Any size frame will work. The bigger you get, the bigger your wreath will be and the more eggs you will need. You need just a little bit of ribbon. It's what you're going to use for your hanger to hang your wreath. Then you need a hot glue gun and some hot glue. It is important that the hot glue gun you use has a temperature setting. Make sure mine's on low. You want to use a low heat for this. A high heat gun will melt right through the styrofoam, and we don't want to do that. Okay. So, let's get started. Okay, so I'm just going to dump out the first bag of eggs and kind of pick the color arrangement that I want these to be in without them falling off of my table, hopefully. Well, let's see. Okay, so that's just a rough, how I'd like them to be so that not two colors are beside each other. I think that's a good place to start. So we're going to start gluing these to the outside of our frame. It's really simple. You just place some hot glue directly on your egg and then hold it to the frame. It's a little time consuming because you do have to hold it for, a few seconds to let it set. And that one's done. You do your next one, and you don't want them all facing the same way. You want some facing the same way and some facing opposite directions. Don't put a pattern to it, just kind of mix it up and start placing your outer eggs. You're going to have little glue strings kind of everywhere. Try not to worry about that yet. You can come back when you're done and get rid of all your glue strings. Oh, sorry, I hit my light. So again, just placing the hot glue directly on the egg and holding it to the outside of the wreath frame. Now I have put all three of these facing the exact same way. So my next one I want to put facing the opposite direction. I don't want too many going all the same way. Alright, I'm going to finish the exterior of this frame. It is going to take another bag of large eggs. I'm putting all large eggs on the outside. And when I'm done with the exterior, I will come back and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm at the last little bit here on the side. And it is, let me turn this around where you can see it a little bit better. So I don't have enough room for 2 eggs, but it's too small for just 1 egg. So I'm going to kind of place this towards the middle, and then I will fill in. On each side once we're fluffing and filling the wreath. So again, you're just putting a small amount of glue on the egg And I'm going to put that one kind of right in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to start with the inside. If you have this spacing issue with your eggs, when you start your inner row, start it where you had your issue on the outer row so that you don't have two gaps kind of side by side. So let's see here. Let me get another bag of eggs. Okay, let's get orange, blue. That purple was stuck. There we go, purple. Let's try a pink maybe. And green. Let's do another green. Okay. So we're going to glue the inside just like we did the outside. And when that's all done, I'll come back again. Okay, so the inside eggs happen to line up just perfectly. There were no gaps or anything on the inside. So we have our outside, we have our inside. It's time to start filling in the rest of this wreath. So I'm going to use the remainder of the bag of extra large eggs that I had for the inside. I didn't quite use it all. My first bag, there were 12 eggs in each bag. So right now I have used almost 3 bags. This is the remainder of my third bag. And I'm just going to kind of place things and eyeball and see what I think looks good from here. This is a bunch of randomness, but you do want to pay attention to your colors. Like right now, there's 2 purples here. I don't want 2 purples side by side, so I'm going to move that guy over there. Everything else looks good, so I'm going to glue these eggs down and then I'll open another bag. When you're at this stage of your wreath, you don't really need to worry about spacing. Like, is there going to be enough room for another egg right here? Well, don't worry about that, because we're going to come back in with all of our smaller eggs and we're going to keep adding layers to this until it is 100% fluffed and filled, and we're not going to have to worry about spacing. Need to add a glue stick here. Okay, let's get another bag of eggs. Okay, so let's see. We can do yellow there. We can do orange here. We can do purple. Oh, that's a lot of purple right there. We'll do purple here. Purple here. So just start placing your eggs around where you think they're going to be best. Get an idea of how your wreath is going to start shaping up, and then we will glue all of these down. Okay, so I have turned some of these kind of like catty corner, and some are kind of sticking up and some are kind of sticking down. You want a good assortment of directions and all that stuff for your eggs, so that when you're done, this is really going to fill in nicely. So I'm just going to start gluing these ones down. Okay, make sure they're all glued. Now some of these eggs that I just did are glued to other eggs, and some are glued to the styrofoam. That one's not glued to anything. There we go. Okay. All right. So that is all of the large eggs that I have, and now we're going to fill in with our little eggs. Okay, so I've dumped the little eggs out into the middle, and some of them have separated, so just make sure they're all put together. bottom of a purple. Where's the top of this purple? Okay, well maybe I'll find that. I don't see it in here. Or in the bag. That's strange. But anyways, these you're just going to pop in. Just start putting them in. To see where they're going to be needed. And again, to make sure you're mixing up enough colors. Let's do it purple. Okay, and you do want to play around with them a little before you actually glue them down to make sure that all of your gaps and all of your little holes are going to be filled. Okay, that section looks good to go. I'm going to move out these extra eggs that I didn't use. And I'm going to fill in this section of eggs. So I'm just going to kind of start and glue them down. You need to think about where you're placing the egg as to where you're going to place the glue. I put that glue at the top because I know that egg is going to be glued right here to this egg. This egg, I need to put the glue kind of on the side because it's going to glue over there. But I'm not going to do that one yet. I'm going to do this blue one first. It drops down in there. Okay, so I'm going to pull these off a little bit so I can get to the eggs on the bottom. We need to glue the bottom eggs first, but don't pull off too many or you'll forget what you've got going where. Okay, that one was there. This guy goes in here. He didn't quite get enough glue on him. I'm going to drop it in from the side. There we go. And then let me do this bottom yellow one. There we go. Now I can do the top yellow one that's going to go right here. Okay. The next one I want to get is this. Is that in frame? Can y'all see that? This little green one right here. Put him down. Then beside that was the orange. That down. And then purple was over here. Blue. And the pink was up in here. Okay, so this section is glued. Now I'm going to start taking these off and gluing them down. I'm going to work my way around and fill the rest of this in. I'm going to speed up the video while I do that. But I want to note that if any of your glue hasn't quite hit where it's supposed to, just come back in and drop glue where you need it so that all of your eggs are glued and stuck and you're not going to have any popping off at the end. Okay, I'm going to speed this up and I'll come back when it's all done. Okay, so you can see it's already filling in really nicely, but there are still some small gaps in here where the green of the styrofoam wreath frame is showing through. I want to let this dry just a little bit so that I can pick it up. I can't stand these glue strings. I'm peeling them off. I want to let it dry so that I can pick it up. And the reason is I want to look at it from how it's going to hang on the door so that I know where to finish filling in at. I still have a whole nother bag of the little eggs that I can fill in any holes with. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to be able to get this in camera. But if you hold it up, you know, hold it upwards like it's going to be hanging, you can fill in the rest of your gaps. So let me get that done. And when it's all done, I will show you how I get the hanger on the back of it so we can hang this up. Okay, so I have pretty much filled in all of the gaps. I still have 3 eggs left, so I'm just going to go ahead and use them. I'm just going to throw them in somewhere. This guy can go here. I mean, it never hurts to have more eggs. You can never have too many, but you can have not enough. And this last little guy can go here. Okay, all my eggs are on. Now, for the ribbon, you can take a skinny ribbon like this one. Can y'all see that? And you can attach it to the back. I want to let this really dry before I turn it over. Okay, let's turn this guy over. He is not fully dry, so I'm being very careful with how I place him. And I'm pulling off glue strings because they drive me crazy. Okay, so you can take just a small amount of ribbon. Let me turn this where y'all can see. And you can glue it to the back like this so that you have a ribbon in the back behind some of the eggs just to hang it with. Or if you want, it is up to you. You can take a wider ribbon like this one and you can wrap it around your wreath like this and hang it with a thicker ribbon. It's really up to you. It's however you want to do it. And that's all there is to it. So for this project, I used 3 bags of large eggs and 4 bags of the tiny eggs and 1 wreath frame. That's all I've got. We'll see you next time.